Silence doesn't mean abandonment. It might mean formation. Some seasons are loud. God's voice feels clear. Prayer seems answered. Doors open. Direction is obvious. And then there are other seasons, those quiet times. You pray and it feels like your words hit the ceiling and fall right back to you. You ask for guidance and hear nothing. You cry out for breakthrough and the silence stretches on. And in that silence, the questions start. Did I do something wrong? Is God upset with me? Did he leave me? Did he forsake me? Does he even care anymore? Here's what you need to know. Silence doesn't equal absence. Silence doesn't mean God walked away. It doesn't mean he's ignoring you. It doesn't mean you're being punished. Many biblical figures experience long gaps between promise and fulfillment. Abraham waited 25 years between God's promise of a son and Isaac's birth. Joseph went from the pit to prison to obscurity for over a decade before his purpose was revealed. Moses spent 40 years on the backside of a desert before the burning bush. David was anointed king as a teenager, then spent years running for his life before he ever sat on the throne. God's silence during those years wasn't rejection, it was preparation. Oh my goodness, let me say that again. God's silence during those times, during those years, it wasn't rejection, it might be preparation. Here's what we miss when we panic in the quiet. God does deep work in quiet spaces, work that noise interrupts. Think about it. You can't build deep roots in a storm. You can't develop character and constant comfort. You can't learn trust when everything is loud and clear and easy. The absence of answers often strengthens our trust. When God is speaking constantly, when every prayer is answered immediately, when direction is always obvious, faith isn't really required in those moments. You're just following instructions. But when the answers stop coming, when the direction isn't clear, when you have to keep walking without knowing exactly where the path leads, that is when trust is being formed. Lamentations chapter 3 verses 31 through 33 says this, "For no one is cast off by the Lord forever." My goodness. Oh Lord, what a powerful prophetic implication. It says again, "For no one is cast off by the Lord forever. Though he brings grief, he will show compassion. So great is his unfailing love, for he does not willingly bring affliction or grief to anyone." Notice the word willingly. God doesn't delight in your pain. He's not silent because he enjoys watching you struggle, but he knows that some things can only be developed in the waiting. Oh my goodness, some strength can only be built in the silence. So my encouragement to you is don't waste the wait. Oh my goodness, let me say that one more time so it settles in your spirit. Don't waste the wait. Look at Psalm 13. David cries out, "How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me?" He's not pretending to be fine. He's honest about the weight of God's silence. But then watch what happens. By the end of the psalm, David says, "But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me." Oh my goodness. Despite the silence, despite the pain, despite the anxiety, Despite the brokenness, God has been good to me. David didn't get an answer in the psalm, but he chose to trust anyway. What will you do in the silence? Will you give God your praise? Will you give God your worship? Will you give God your devotion? Or will you abandon the process? That's the kind of faith God is building in you during the silence. Not a faith that needs constant reassurance, not a faith that only functions when feelings are high and direction is clear. A faith that says, even when I can't hear you, I know you are here. Even when I can't see the next step, I trust you are leading. God's silence isn't cruelty. It's not indifference. Sometimes it's the kindest thing God can give you. Because in the quiet time, in the quiet moments, in the quiet seasons, you stop relying on signs and start relying on Him. You stop needing constant validation and start walking in the confidence that He's with you, whether you feel it or not. And so don't leave the room just because God is quiet. Silence isn't abandonment. It's not rejection. It might be the very space where God is doing His deepest work in you. So on this week, resist the urge to fill the silence with noise, with distraction or panic. Don't abandon your prayer life just because it feels one-sided right now. Don't walk away from God because He's not speaking on your timeline. Instead, stay in the room. Keep praying. Keep showing up. Keep trusting. The silence won't last forever, but what God is building in you during this season will.